Palestine. Free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. No more murder, no more lies. Free, free, free Palestine. Palestina, Palestina. Oh, Palestine in my heart.
Welcome to Listen to DIS, D-I-S, where we dive deep into the work of decolonization, intersectionality, and solidarity. This isn't just a podcast, it's a practice, a living, breathing effort to show up, mess up, listen better, and keep learning together. We're here to hold space for bold, uncomfortable, liberating conversations. We're not experts. We're people, white folks, actively unlearning, unpacking, and reckoning with the roles we've inherited in colonial systems. We enter this space in good faith, knowing that decolonization isn't a metaphor, intersectionality isn't optional, and solidarity isn't just a word, it's a responsibility. Every episode, we welcome guests whose work, life, and struggle expand our understanding of liberation. We listen, learn, and reflect with full hearts, open ears, and the humility to be called in and called out. And when we feel our internalized isms stirred up, we recommit. This is the work. With our guests, we will move through the what, the why, and the how, naming the systems, examining the roots, and always asking, how do we show up better for each other? How do we turn listening into action? This is a place for dialogue, accountability, and tangible support. So let's get into it with clarity, with courage, and with care.
No.
And today we're here to welcome Carmen, and I will let Carmen take her introduction from there.
My name is Carmen Guerrero. I'm visiting Portland, and I found that the brotherhood, sisterhood, and the humanity that we are fighting for justice is everywhere. I'm so happy that when I came to Portland, I found this beautiful family, our Palestinian family that I call it, and we are joining fighting against this horrible system that I never believed before. Suffering at this time. Palestinian people are suffering physically, but the system are pulverizing my soul, my spirit, my dignity with the actions that they're doing. And for me, as an indigenous woman, Aztec and Maya, is my duty and our duty that be in from and fight for what is justice right now for us. This is another time of the history of the humanity, but it's like very painful time for me, and I guess for many people, and I can see that around the world. The main thing that also I'm protesting and I'm fighting for this is my Mother Earth. The pollution is like we couldn't survive all of this, and no, there is tons of bombs in Gaza. There is, I don't know how many decades we're going to suffer in, generations by generations, all these horrible things, like unbelievable. For me, it's unbelievable and very painful.
Well, what brought you to the struggle? What's your? Can I ask you about your history? Like,
I spoke to you that I am an indigenous person, and after October the 7th, watching the news, I feel like I have something feeling like there is no like terrorist people like Israel and the media is calling Palestinians and Arabic people. Something came like wow, this is not, something is wrong there. Something is wrong in that message. And I'm start protesting. And immediately when I'm protesting, there is not my first time before. In 2014, I'm start protesting for Palestine, but I don't have the deep information and what's going on with Palestinian people and the issue of Israel and Palestine. And also I hear only that something is wrong in Israel and Palestine, but I didn't know what's wrong. I don't have the curiosity to be informed. But after October the 7th, I'm start participating. My first protesting, it was in UPenn University, and we are protesting peacefully. We are arrangement everything for the protest and vigil, and a Zionist student come in a very aggressive manner and start to taking out the mics to the person who is going to be in charge just when we're going to start protesting. And this guy in that very unpolite manner came and a violent manner. And I said, why? We are protesting because we have our rights. And also the teachers and everybody who organized the protest have the right to protest in that. But he started to yelling bad things. He calling all of us Nazis, terrorists. And I say, no. And I'm immediately, no, how he can calling us like terrorists? And I'm immediately approached to him. I say, I'm a Native American. This is our lands. No matter before borders, before flags, we are one humanity here in all this continent. America is not only a country. America is our continent. And when I realized that, I say, no, this guy look a European person, and why he's in an aggressive manner. And since that day, I'm start deep looking for information, looking for what happened, enjoying. Since October the 7th, I'm start protesting every day, and I see many faces of people, like, I don't know if it's Palestinian, only people that crying during the marches, many children, families, young people. Like, when I see young people, they give me a hope, like, oh my goodness, they are giving me a hope that they are fighting for something that is too old, and we are fighting together. And they say I inspire them, but they inspire me. They encourage me, I encourage them, and that is where we're going to fight all together. And that is when I'm start protesting, and during the protest, I notice how the Zionists are in very aggressive manner. They are play the victim all the time, and I couldn't imagine how Palestinians are living under the occupation, under the apartheid, under the genocide since before 1948. And I say, oh my goodness, no! And that's why I stand up every day. When we don't have protesting in the city. Mainly, my protests are in Philadelphia. We are protesting everywhere, like New Jersey, New York, Pittsburgh, Lancaster, every place like we have available, we are protesting. I'm member or I'm participate in the encampment in UPenn, in the encampment of Bryn Mawr University, Harvard for College, and Drexel University encampment. And that is when I start learning. In the encampments, we have the available library. And in the library, we have all the history about books of Susan Albuhaba, Ian Pape, and all the writers about what they are doing. And I'm start learning, but also I'm start learning, not just for the books, but also for the stories of the Palestinian people who are protesting there, and who the families. And I never noticed when in my big march of more than 1,000 people, I met a woman that she's holding a sign with her, I don't know, maybe it's the the papers ask her ownership of the Palestinian house, everything in Arabic, but she have, and she say, she's an old woman, and she say, this is what I can prove. This is my land. This is my house, and they stolen my land. They destroyed my house, and they have also, she have the key, and she was protesting and marching. And when I start talking to her, and she tell me why all the struggles, how they suffering in the refugee camps, how they controlled by Israeli occupation, and how the settlers are bothering every day, every action, and how they humanize, and how they be violent, and how they see all the families or their families like they killed by settlers, and also for the IDF soldiers. Oh my God, they say, this is so much, this is so much. We're crying together, we hug together. And later I noticed that in New Jersey, in Teaneck, and Israeli organizations are selling Gaza lands.
In the synagogues, huh?
Yes, and oh my God, there is unlawful, there is injustice. And I was really, really mad. And I said, this is not possible. No, this is not their lands. And there is where my connections as an indigenous, I remember how my indigenous ancestors as a Maya, my mother and my grandmother and my grandfathers, they tell me how they been colonized. Like my grandmother, her name was Martina, and my grandfather is Martin. And I asked, why you call Martin and Martina? Because they speak Saltal Maya. And they say, oh, because when the Franciscans came to here, they tell us like we don't going to be to the sky if we don't have names, Hispanic names, because we have our Maya names, and they need to baptize, and they need to acquire Hispanic names. And the person who owned some land, there is a Hispanic colonizer, his name was Martin. And they say, we don't know nothing about other names, and you just stay calling you Martin and Martina. My grandparents doesn't have birth certificates, but they just calling like the names. And they say that's why we changed our names. And she explained me how they came and killing violent all my their families and our families, our ancestors, and how they forcing to have another religion, to change everything, either their clothes, the kind of how they feeling. And I remember these things still happen until today in Palestine. And that things touch me so much. I say, no, please, these things should be happen, because we are supposed to be in a progress time. And there is no progress because we are destroying everything, our motherland, our resources. We don't have now a clean water. We don't have a clean air. We don't have a clean soils. What we are doing? And no, we need to fight and be awake and be in solidarity, be in show our humanity, because these things as generations we're going to suffer. The pollution in the Palestinian lands is going to everywhere. Like we can see here in USA that we have a lot of pollution in our rivers, and there is because the things, all the things they prepare for the war, there is the things like I'm doing. I live in a neighborhood that the Lockheed Martin have the big buildings, and I didn't notice that that company is in my town, and how that company is selling weapons to Israel. And I didn't notice that no matter if it's certain kind of political parties, my politicians, they are supporting, they are Zionists. And all of these things open my my mind and say, wow, I'm living in a hill and I need to fight and I need to advise my community that we need to fight together, because that is when I realize in a millions, in a billions, we are all Palestinians. The Palestinian liberation is our liberation. And I am here. I am here, and there is more than 600 days of genocide. And I say, I don't have to permit myself to be tired. I need to fight, and I need to be here, no matter what. No matter if the fear, no matter if what Zionists make to me. I suffer too many attacks, but the too violent attacks that leave me disabled. I say, wow, these Palestinian people is living every day. And be careful, because I notice how Israel infiltrated not just the USA government, but the many governments like Argentina, Mexico, Syria, how all this evil is trying to control and suppress and oppress all the populations. Nobody is poor. There is the business war that make poor people. And that's why I say, no, we need to speak up. We need to learn. We need to empower one each other. And I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy that met a lot of people. I'm so happy that university students are still fighting. And now, today, we have the flotilla going to Gaza. On June 15, we have the global march. And we need to be in front of us. You can see when we start setting up this podcast, there is people supporting Palestine because they know. And there is when I feel I am not alone. I am not alone. I'm not doing this by myself. Everyone is putting the sun or the piece of land in the mountain like we need to make. We say, oh, I deserve the very good. I want to be happy. What is the next generation is going to have? Controlling and oppressing and poverty and wars? No. We have the power. We are the majority. That's why we need to be fighting until the liberation. But why is really important Palestine if it's not Syria or Sudan that also are oppressing until these atrocities? Palestine, USA is sending a lot of money to Israel to committing this genocide. All politicians, all Congress people are guilty on genocide. They are war criminals. And also people that are watching in the media, they are also complicit in genocide. Because we need to speak up. We need to speak up about what these injustices are, and we need to stop immediately what they are doing.
Absolutely. Wow, your words left me almost speechless. But I did want to bring up the fact that you have been often by yourself and protesting by yourself because you feel so strongly about, Palestine and everything you've said, and you bring that forth whether you have people with you or not. And that's what that also really moves me, because a lot of people are afraid to even join others in the street and just be seen out in the street protesting this. But you'll actually stand out by yourself, which you were telling me about. And I'd love to know if you're willing to talk about that. I'd love to know about your solo protests, how often you've done that, and then about the incidents that you were referring to earlier.
Yes, when I don't have opportunity to go to the different places because are far away for rallies, I said, okay, near to my house, there is an intersection that I used in 2000 and George Floyd marches to protest again for Black Lives Matter. And I decided that, okay, this is the place like I can protest in for Palestine. As an indigenous, I wear my own clothes, and I went to the place making my signs, my flags, There is when the first time when I went to that intersection, there is Henderson Road and 202 Decal Pike in Kinoprusia, PA. The first day when I went to protest, I never know that how aggressive and coward these Zionist people are. And I was just protesting, my megaphone. I'm just telling what chanting our free Palestine, free Palestine. That day, a man like in his 40s, in a van that I didn't know, he came out from his van. He parked near to the place, his van, and he ran to my banners and my flags, and he started to taking out everything. And he yelling me, "I'm an Israeli. I don't want these flags." And I say, "No, this is my property. This is my rights." And I ran behind him, trying to recover my banners and my flags. And I noticed that a young girl in the passenger side is 7 years old, around 7 years old, young girl. She was crying. I immediately imagined that is his daughter, but I never recovered anything. And I say, okay, what I'm going to do? But the police station is 5 minutes from the place where I'm protesting. And when I'm going to the police station, the police officer who attended me, he say, I say, somebody stole my property, and I came to put in a report. And he say, you have the name of the person, you have the plate number. I say, no, but there is a full of cameras over there, you can find the information. And he says, sorry, in the cameras they disappear, and we couldn't recover anything. I said, okay, and there is no police report. And on February 1st, we planning to go in another place, Bluebell, and we are finished our protest in that corner. And two males that is very famous, I'm going to share the video. Two males came, and they just came like they going to assault us. And one of them hit his head with a flag that a teenager was holding. And he started saying, "Don't hit me with your flag." And the teenager back his head and say, "What happened?" And I said, don't worry, he is okay." But this guy, this is an old man, like 60, 17 years old, no, 60 maybe, I don't know, but look very old person. And he said, why he's attacking a teenager? And the teenager didn't watch him. But there is not enough that the other guy came with a golf stick. And he tried, he's recording us, and he tried to hit me with a golf stick. Police came also fast, but I speak to the police. These guys tried to attack us, and this guy tried to hit me. Police didn't tell us nothing, but just escorting us to go to our cars. I'm back. We make a police report. Yes, we make a police report. He pleads guilty, supposed to be. I never go into court with that guy. And he pleads guilty. Okay, in the media, it's all around. But I'm still protesting in the corner where I just talked to you. And sometimes middle fingers, many people recording me, they take me pictures, verbally abuse me, but I never try to fight with them. Never. But these actions make me, instead to put me back and down, make me be in front and in front and in front. Because I say this is injustice, and I want to show to the people how these Zionist people is against to the old woman, by myself, and coward people. Yes, they are males that attack me, you know. And I say, no. That's why I say, no, I'm going to be there. And on July the 3rd, everything was peaceful, but just finished set up all my the place where I'm protesting. I noticed that young man, started to record me, but he recorded me for more than an hour. And I said, this man look like a suspicious person, Zionist. And I'm back to him, and I'm start recording him. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened with my camera, because I don't have, I just have a little piece of the video where he is. And I'm trying to take a picture of him, but I enter to the parking lot of the bank that is there. And I take a picture of him. And the manager of the bank came to me and say, you have the right to protest on the sidewalk, but please, here is private property. Don't came to the parking lot of the bank. And I said, no, okay. She didn't know that I'm trying to catch that man. And he go back to his car. I noticed like he's taking, like making phone calls, sending text messages, taking me pictures far away, but because he never make or tell me nothing, I left him just trying to take his plate number and his face. And like after like an hour, I noticed like he was near to me holding a Zionist flag. And he tell me, he approached to me and chanting, "Hey, we're going to kill you." But he tried to in slow, no, whisper, in a whisper, "We're going to kill you." And I say,
all smiley.
"Oh, okay." And I say, "Oh," immediately I take my phone and I start recording him. And like in minutes, another person just parked in front of in the traffic. He parked his car in traffic and come out, and he walked towards my banners and my flags. And I'm run to there to try to stop, but he have a scissors and start to carrying. And I say, please, this is my property, respect my property. And I say, he start to taking out everything. And after he take everything, we are fighting for that. And I'm start yelling, "This is a real terrorist! This is a real terrorist!" And trying to stop him, but he didn't. We are fighting hard for a big plastic banner who have like an indigenous in solidarity with Palestine. And I holding that, and we are fighting. And when we are fighting, I hit, and he hit me. He bring me back and forward, and I hit my head with a telephone pole, and I have an injury that day. People who are walking there, and the people the employees of the bank came and helped me. Police came, and I remember when I was in the bank, the manager say, "Oh, one of the guys, that the guy who is holding the Israeli flag, say, asked to her, what can happen if I can take out all that flags outside of your in front of the bank?" And she say, "Oh, obviously you're going to be arrested." But there is only comment that she say, and he left. And I say, okay, they are both together. They are complicit to doing something to me. After that, police take me the report, and when I trying to stand up, my legs immediately feel like numbness and no, very weak. And I say, "Oh my God, something is wrong." But all my body is in pain. Mostly my shoulder. All of this is like very painful. And the ambulance took me to the hospital nearest to the place, and yes, I finished with a concussion in my head, and they released me, but they never tell me like I have a nerve damage in my right side of my arm. Since that day, I live in painful physically and painful in my emotionally. But I said, okay, there is a time when many people support me for the day. Many people take care of me. My community, my family, my God, all of them taking care of me. And since that day, we decided that don't go alone again to that place or protesting by myself. Yes, everything is good. I'm still in recovering. I'm so afraid now because maybe this injury is going to be for all my life. I hope not. I'm trying to take care of me, looking for all the things like I can do, plus than my physical therapy, and I hope very soon. Uh, um, but we are still doing something, and actually they changed my courts for this case many times. They cancel for many reasons. I guess like six times they cancel my courts, and the last one it was on December the 4th. And on December the 4th we went to the court and everything is good, but on December the 7th, we are planning to protest. But during all that 6 months, nobody since July, we're still protesting until December. No one bothered me. No recording, nobody, some of them middle fingers, but no like aggressive people, not recording me. And I say, okay, maybe they understand the lesson that they're going to have legal issues, right? And on December the 7th, we're planning to go a group, but the group doesn't have opportunity. And I say, I feel like, okay, nobody bothered me. Maybe we come back again to that place. But I never noticed that I finish, I'm start very early, and I finish at 3:30, and I just picking up all my signs and my banners and my flags. Everything was nice, the weather was nice, and I just walking towards the place where I have the other banners. I cross the street, the road, and when I hear that somebody yelling me, "Assalamu alaikum," and it was 20s man, white man, having a hat with the words in his hat, white letters, Navy. And okay, I say, oh, he say assalamu alaikum, but I never be afraid of him. And I'm back towards him just to know what's going on, because he's walking like trying to cross the street. I say maybe just a person like selling something, but I never noticed. But he left a paper bag, and I put in the bag just in front of my banners, and take out something. I'm just watching far away from him. He just taking something from the paper bag, and he's like taking out from a small bag from the place when I noticed that it's a gun. But when I see that, immediately, like I don't have opportunity to looking for save my life. He pointed at me. He shot into times, and I was in shock. Oh my God! I think immediately like he killed me, but I don't know. Nothing. Just I'm still stand up. I say, oh, and immediately I'm looking for a place, and I also cover my body in a telephone pole, and I'm start yelling to all the drivers like, help, help! He have a weapon and a knife. Help, help! And I don't know. I didn't remember that if somebody, I see somebody like he's like recording inside of his car or her car, or I didn't remember. But I see somebody with a telephone. But I'm start yelling, and he start to cutting all the flags and the banners, and it was fast. Everything was fast, and After that, he start follow me. I just was waiting for the green light. When he start, I see that he came like in this section, and with a knife, he take out a knife with machete sides, but in a like a half moon.
Yeah.
And he's behind me, and I'm start like stopping the traffic and yelling and running, saving my life. But I have my crown that an indigenous, we maybe many of you like feathers, we have my crown. My crown fell, and he back and hit my crown to over there. And oh my God, that is when I say run, run, run. And that is when I see back, I'm start looking for in my phone that I forget my password, I forget how to make an emergency call. But I'm start to looking for 911, asking, calling 911. And that is when finally I have the opportunity, but I'm still holding the traffic with my hand. And people start calling 911. But I'm start running. He run to the other side where I have also signs and flags, and he cut everything. And I said, "Oh my God!" I was just at that time. I was completely in shock. My body is shaking. I don't have. I just yelling. I crossed the other side and saving my life. And that is when police arrive. When police arrive, immediately they arrest him there. But that things emotionally made me, wow. Until today, I have many mental issues. But no matter of that, I say I couldn't stop this, because there is the things like Zion is trying to stop all the movement, intimidate, abusing, threatening us in a big violent manner, to say they should be stopped because they need to colonize and stole Palestinian lands. And I say, no, 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 we need to still fighting. We need to still fighting until the liberation, because these things happened to me. I couldn't imagine Palestinian people that are living every day, generations by generations, generations by generation. And this is going to happen to my generations, to all the people. These young people that inspire me to fight, I say, wow, there is the things that why I need to be there protesting and trying to do what I can do it. And I participate in the protests, in the webinars, in the marches, in the rallies, in the vigils, in the everything that we are doing, I am there. And also now I'm spreading the voice about my community, my indigenous community, the Hispanic community, and other communities that I can live that voice for justice. I believe I have the big hope, like we can do it, and nothing should be stop us. Nothing. I know many people is afraid about immigration status, about everything, but evil is evil, no matter with status or no status, even if you are woman or no woman, even if you are wherever you are, they don't have respect for any human being. And that's why we are here.
I'd like to hand the mic over to the lovely Shireen.
Oh, maybe in a minute or so. I just gotta give you some.
Okay. Okay.
And I love see like Shireen, the woman with kufiyah, wearing my kufiyah. Every time when I see somebody with kufiyahs, it's like, I feel a brother or sister.
It's like a soul connection.
Yes,
It really is. Okay.
1 second break. I'll be right back.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. So we can, is it okay if we pause for a moment?
Yeah, I can just
Edit. Okay. All right, great.
I'm going to say something. I admire you.
Oh,
I tell people all the time that when I go out and I say stand up for what's right, I have no other choice. And I have told people many a time, you could have a voice of one or a voice of many, but somebody got to speak.
Yeah.
And I admire you.
And you know what happened too? That Facebook, how do you say when they cancel your account?
Oh yeah, yeah. When they cancel your account. That's all I can think of too.
Yes, they doing everything to me. I say, wow, they trying to stop it. They trying, and all the media, you know, I fight for the immigration rights and for the immigration reform and for the Dream Act. And I notice that no matter if we are 10 people protesting, there is a lot of media covering us. But the one of the biggest rallies in Philadelphia, it was since the city hall until the art museum, and it was full of people. Let me know if a media is there. Zero media. No one is covering that rally. Oh my God, I would say, wow, this is unbelievable. Unbelievable that the media doesn't want to tell the truth to the people that they are watching them.
Yeah.
Afraid of this administration.
Yes.
He's suing media companies left and right.
That's a good point that you bring up, though, because you talk about this administration, and a lot of people do. Like, here's where it started, but it didn't. In fact, Carmen was telling me before that during the Obama administration, it was particularly bad for her in your neighborhood.
His Muslim ban.
It's not only Muslim ban. There is there is a 287G secure communities bill that passed in certain counties, and one of mine is that the passing, and local police, state police, and federal police, that is immigration, they are working together to have a certain numbers of people and deported, putting in deportation procedures. But you know, there is for every people, police have money, local police have money, federal police have money for every undocumented people that they arrested. And there is, let me tell you, there is no matter if it's undocumented people, they didn't know. Just if you look Hispanic, they arrest you. They arrest you. Right. And we know one day they arrive to a restaurant, and when immigration arrive, they put in all the black people on the side and all the Hispanics to the other side, and they only arrested the Hispanic people. And between that Hispanic people, there is some that have immigration status, but they arrested no matter of that. And when we speak up about what the injustices they made, that is when they stopped it a little bit. But they change the form that they start to stop the putting in the procedure, immigration procedures.
That's a great segue into decolonization. So we discussed decolonization, intersection, where's the intersection, and how can we come together in solidarity? And I believe one of the biggest components of decolonization is realizing that the empire is they all play the same game. They just use different playbooks.
Exactly.
But they're all doing the same thing to us, and so it really doesn't matter who's in office. I mean, it is important that we hold each and every administration up to the standard, you know, which we know we only have a limited reach with any of them, absolutely any of them. But it's important that, you know, that is the first and foremost primary system that needs to be decolonized, is, you know, actually in our own minds, our perception of there being, you know, a good side and a bad side, and a good administration and a bad administration, because they're all doing the same thing. They're just using different ways and means of carrying out, you know, the same evil objectives. Right. And so, you know, we keep recycling the same story, administration after administration after administration. The only things that are changing are the faces and the rhetoric. And so, but anybody have anything that they'd like to add to that part of the conversation about decolonizing? How can we decolonize these systems that?
So it's so much, because everything is
Here. I'm gonna hand you the mic.
it's just everything is so much, right? Because it is so the framework of it all. Again, it goes down to the core and the motive. And there's no, for instance, here in America, we're sans a culture. You come, you leave, denounce your motherland, this and that. So everybody is forced to acclimate to this. What is it exactly? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's where's there's no human soul tie. There's no, it's so many levels. It's literal, it's spiritual, it's on every level. And so looking at a way of how to decolonize the structure that's been in place for hundreds, it's hard to even, how my theory of what has to happen. I can't say that out loud. Yeah, it's just, it literally has to, there's no, I mean, I personally don't believe that you can reform something like, I think it has to completely come down, because it's, again, the foundation of it. Unless that foundation is removed, that foundation is always going to be there. And they could paint it pretty and this and that to sell it, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, there's one motive and one motive alone. And then mix that with like this level of capitalism that we're at, and it's like, excuse me, but sorry.
It reminds me of good cop, bad cop.
Yeah,
Between the blue and the red, they play kind of that game, like,
because it keeps everybody, it's like fear is the best way to control. You know what I mean? And it's like, and then if you give people options and they think, well, first of all, democracy wouldn't be like a two-party system. That's a binary thing. You know what I mean? That's kind of odd right there. But I don't know. When people are only given the way to do it is through, that four-letter word, voting and this and that, and everybody, but it's not. It's all, again, they're all cut from the same cloth. They all the same motive. It doesn't all the same. Like, again, what's been happening in Palestine, it didn't start a couple years ago. It's been going on for almost 80 years. Right. And there's people that are benefit. This is the part that I can't understand with it, is how you turn off your human core and are okay with that. It doesn't. I can't wrap my head around it. Who could possibly support Israel and what it's doing, and how does anybody, this day and age, when there's so much information, how do you call that anti-Semitism? That has nothing to do with the word Semitic. That has nothing to do with it. Israel is a state it's a Zionist state. It's not a Jewish state. It's not it's, I don't know. Ooh, child, I'm sorry. My head, it's just too much, because it's hard to, and the anger and the hatred, like what you're talking, this kind of reaction from people that, are you kidding me? You know what I mean? But you guys, you're supporting of the ones that are creating this disgusting genocide, and you're mad because I'm standing here with a flat. What it's unbelievable. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. But they've always had that narrative. I'm half Persian. They've always had that narrative that anybody that's they're all terrorists and this and that. The indoctrination at such a young age that happens here in this country. They got both parents work, it's the school system that raises your kid, and the TV and this and that, and it's like, from subliminal messaging to whatever it may be, before you know it, it's
disempowerment.
It's just stuck in there, walking around with these different things that we don't even know, It's just, it's a lot. But you are freaking beautiful. And just that, I get that, when you're pushed, you come back higher, you come back more, you come back solid with your feet. And that gives me chills. I'm going to start crying right now, because that is the reflection of your human tie, the core, the collective. You know what I mean? That we are all in this together. Those of us that see that, and it's weird to think that it's like one species, but it's like come to the point where it's like just divided into two massive ones or something right now. At least there are more people that are seemingly aware. That was very nice to see, because it seemed really scary and quiet, like we were living in some weird beyond dystopian. Yeah,
I know.
Like,
I know.
Everybody's just chill right now. They don't what?
But and no matter they are threatening us and they are putting in fear all the time, but in a certain time, that kind of genocide is going to happen to us, or is happening right now.
Yeah,
No
for
medical insurance, no health in any place, and they are killing day by day. They're killing us,
Yeah.
and that's why I say we need to speak up. And maybe they don't have the opportunity, like I have the opportunity, or make my time to protest in front of the people, right? But there is many ways, like we can fight against this system.
Absolutely.
Boycott all Israeli products.
Yeah.
Share the information in our social media. Speak with our children. Stop watching the media, that Zionist media. Maybe you have more ideas. Feeding our souls, feeding our bodies.
Yeah.
When you're talking about the different ways, because it is a whole lot of different ways. I mean, you can run for office. You can make a change from the inside. And we don't all have to stand out and with signs or post on our social media. Run for office. Change it from the inside.
Calling our politicians, like calling to our school districts, teaching. This is good thing. Teaching Palestine. Learn. Not from the resources of Zionists. Learn. I have been a counselor at the Women's Center of Montgomery County, and when I noticed that to be a good judge, you don't need to hear just for one side. You need to hear for both sides, and you can have the decision to who is going to have. And when I see here, this is occupation. When I'm learning, this is, oh my God, if I want to be a good judge, I need to see what's going on. And all of things is lies, and lies, and lies. And they cover in their lies, and they trying to be like trusting people, but there is not. How many of us we are watching like they cover like Arabs are terrorist people? But I spoke to my people too. If you see an Hispanic people or an indigenous people, they are savages. They are criminals.
Right.
And we are not. That's why we need to put in our faces and telling what is our oppressions. And when we have that, we have we other people. Maybe the politician doesn't going to call him because they are also part of the system, right? But maybe other people that is in the same struggle of us is going to identify that, oh, she's right. And we're going to follow, and we're going to follow more people. This is a work little by little, because we are too late and we are in a rush. That's why we need to don't stop, don't be tired, still doing 24/7. 24/7.
Yeah.
That because we need to work together. And let me tell you, we have the opportunity to have this place, to rest, to be in peace, but other places are not. Let me see, Francesca, the UN speaker, Francesca Albanese, she's working very hard to be the bringing why is grown Israel. And Francesca is, I guess, these people is trying to working very hard. What is the other name? This Ian Pape, that he's making a lot of conferences. And how many Zionists stop their own, like immigration too, stop him in the airport for hours, taking all his phones, his computers, and everything to trying to bring information. What information they want to give us? We bring the truth, and that's why we're spreading the truth, and that's why they trying to don't tell the truth. Silence. No. But that's why, as I hear somebody on the weekend that say, what are you going to tell to your children when this part of the history is going to teach in the schools? What are you going to teach? What are you doing? while this genocide is happening? What are you doing? What are you going to answer? Nothing? Just watching? Prayers are so nice, but actions, we need actions. We need actions, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That's the intersection.
Exactly.
Truth and action. The intersection
Yes,
that we all need to engage in.
yes.
And the solidarity I'm hearing you say, and I 100% agree. I think all of us would agree. Sorry. Our solidarity really is like in what you said, finding something that we can do,
Exactly.
whatever that is. Like you were saying, not everybody can be out in the streets protesting and doing that, but there's always something, and there's always ways we can be in solidarity, like you were, like the boycotting, like withdrawing our support from these systems, however that is, and forming our own networks of support. Mutual aid's really powerful.
Organizing is the best.
Yes,
Organizing.
And I want to go after taxes because I say we need to all pull our money out of this. All pull our money out.
Like if everybody just took the same day off, everything was shut down.
Yes, yes, strikes. Yes, strikes. Yes, yes.
We are the means of production.
Absolutely.
The people have more power than because the power of, again, solidarity is it becomes like a science. You know what I mean? It's a wave. It's an energy. It's all these things. It doesn't have to do with a ranking. It doesn't have to do with
right.
But again, we've been indoctrinated not to know that or feel that or understand that. And so many people I've noticed in this country, it's outside of the U.S. It doesn't pertain to them. So that, and I don't know how you can shut off, because again, you feel it. I feel that human connection. Wherever it is, you can feel the pain. You feel it. You know what I mean? It is our problem. It is. But again, it's this dehumanization or something that's happened in so many ways. I feel here, which is it's I don't know. It's a lot, because again, we have so much power that if we even just a small percentage of people, like a quarter of the population, it's like we are the means of production. We are the means of everything. You know what I mean? We shut that shit down. But,
yes, and also the all struggles in the world are just one evil. That is the system. That's why we need to fight together.
Yes.
Like, let me show you. This is the Jewish Palestinian Alliance of Oregon. I didn't represent that group, but the message that they have is my message too. One of my messages.
Right.
And that's why we are not part of this group, but we are fighting together. We are fighting together. They in their own bubble, and we are fighting together until we explode the system that we don't want to be living in that. And the system should be here us. We need to govern, or we need to ask for what kind of life we have. We want, we need. No pressure, no pressure. I know that when they divide us, like telling, oh, don't call to the Indians or the Native Americans because they're savages. Don't call to the Arabs because they are terrorists. Don't call to the immigrants because they are criminals. They divide us. But in this movement, I met people from all backgrounds, from all nationalities, from all the world. And I know, oh my God, we feel the same love, the same sentiments. And I said, wow, this is what we needed, to be all together, to fight all together, to don't be afraid about what our color of skin, about what is the size of your body. No, we need to fight together. We need to fight together. And all the struggles, all of us, we have struggles in our houses, in our lives, in our personal lives, like they touch me emotionally and physically, my body. But no matter, I'm still having, I guess, entire my body. But we can see Palestinian people who are doesn't have arms, incapacitated forever. I see a boy that doesn't have his hands and his legs, but he's still trying to move himself. Oh my God! Oh my God! That encouraged me to fight for you.
That those children have more courage than any of these.
And I couldn't believe, like, I feel guilty, like I couldn't do anything for him. My God, a precious life is broken now. But he inspired me no matter how sad. I received a beautiful picture of me and Gaza children that say, thank you for Carmen for what are you doing. And every morning I remember them and I feeling of them in me, and I said, oh my God, that's why, no matter what they're doing to me, I'm still fighting for them. Yeah. And I'm going to still fighting, I guess, until the liberation that I feel is very soon. That's why they have a lot of pressure on us. Mm-hmm.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Palestine.
Viva, viva Palestina. Lucha, lucha Palestina.
Free, free Palestine.